The top 5 Chiefs NFL draft rumors. Are they smoke or fire? We're going to talk about that. Ladies and gentlemen, NFL fans, how we doing today? We're getting ever so closer to that NFL draft, and we've seen and heard thousands of rumors by this point, talked about 250 plus players, but we're going to talk about the top 5 biggest NFL draft rumors, in relation to the Kansas City Chiefs, and we're going to let you know if we think it's just smoke or if there's actually some fire there. Appreciate you all being here. Do us a favor. Hit that like button for us. Help get this out to more people. Let's have a good stream tonight. Also, want to shout out Prize Picks for sponsoring tonight's live stream. Check that description. Click the link and use code HMA. Mike, let's talk about these draft rumors, man. I mean, we're, 4, 5, 6 days away? 4, 5? 4.
Yeah.
I don't even
Man,
know.
what's wrong with you? Yeah, it's literally like 4 sleeps from now, maybe 3. But yeah, it's coming up quick, and I think a lot of people have draft fatigue right now, like pretty hard. Nobody really wants to hear about more prospects. Nobody wants to hear more rumors. Nobody's wanting to hear, like, we're just ready to get it going, get it picked. They want to see who the Chiefs get at number 9 or wherever we select, and 29, and just call it a night. Like, we're ready to go. We're ready to look at the 1 or 2 players that we pick up on draft night. So we kind of wanted to go through these big rumors right now, and I think everybody can agree there's the biggest rumors. And rumor number 1 just come out yesterday, and it was the Chiefs are going to trade up to number 3. Sleeper NFL. Now, they weren't the only ones that tweeted this out. This was tweeted out by a bunch of people, so I'm not just picking on this one particular person. But it says the Chiefs are in talks with the Cardinals and Titans about trading up from number 9 to number 3 or 4, per Jeremy Fowler, ESPN. Now, Steve, look, Jeremy Fowler did not specifically say that the Chiefs are trading up to 3 or 4. He said, "What the hell?
No, they're not going to do that."
But he didn't even say it. People are just putting 2 and 2 together. They said the Chiefs want to move up, and they're looking to aggressively move back. And then, of course, one slapnut come on there and said, "Oh, I have direct info that the Chiefs have been on the phone with the Cardinals." I'm not believing it.
I don't either, dude. It's just going to cost way too much to get into that top 5. Like, end of story. If you go back and look at what Jacksonville had to give up, I wish I could find the tweet right now from our boy Price Carter, but if you go back and look at what Jacksonville had to give up to get up into the top 5 last year, the price is astronomical, and the Chiefs are not giving away their future, especially next year's draft, which is probably going to be better than this one. They're not giving all that away just to get up in that top 5 this time, because I don't think there's any players in this draft that warrant that. That price tag is too big for anyone in this draft.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm going to actually put up a poll and let the people decide, are the Chiefs going to trade into pick number 3? Yes or no? Or we'll just say, is it smoke or is it fire? And I'll let you guys decide, Steve. But I think it's overwhelmingly that me and you are saying this is a lot of smoke right now. I don't see this being a thing at all. I just feel like Brett Veach told us. He told us, if you want to take anything at face value, take what Brett Veach actually said. He said, look, we're going to see how the first 5 or 6 picks go before we make a move. Right. I think it's crazy that Brett Veach would trade up to number 3 or 4 preemptively before you even see how the board shakes out. So to me, it's wild. I think it's smoke. We'll let the people decide what they think. But for me, man, it's smoke. It's 100% smoke.
It has to be. It has to be. I'm trying to find basically what Jacksonville had to give up last year. Okay, let's see.
It doesn't matter. It's too much. If I'm not mistaken,
just to go from number 5 to number 2 last year, they had to give up pick number 5, pick number 36. Pick number 126 and a first round from 2026.
Yeah, too much.
3 spots. So if you're trying to go from 9 to 3, you're gonna, in theory, have to give up more than that. So no.
Well, they're already saying you'd lose number 9, you'd lose number 29, you're likely losing number 74.
Your first round pick from next year? No.
You may lose your first round pick from next year, and at worst, a second or a third. I'm not doing that. And then who are you trying to get at number 3? The Jets are going to take Arvell Reese at number 2. So do you really think you have to get up that high to get David Bailey over Ruben Bain? He's not even the correct fit. So I get it. You might want a little bit more juice, but he's not the correct fit. To me, the correct fit's Bain. And right now they're saying Bain could last to maybe, pick 5 or 6 at 7, somewhere in that range. So it's like, if you're going to trade up, there's your spot.
If you were a team that was dying to have Jeremiah Love and you had to have that game-changing running back or something, then maybe we could talk about it. But the Chiefs are out of that conversation now. Now, if he's at number 9 and they decide to take him because the value's too good, whatever. We'll talk about that. But random team, maybe they want to come up and take Jeremiah Love because he's kind of like a generational talent type running back, like that Saquon Barkley or Bijan Robinson. Other than that, there's no one in this draft that is worth that price tag.
Mickey said it's only going to be a 9 to 29 and a 5th. We just read last year. I know that the Rich Hill trade value chart and all that says this, but you also got to depend on who, let's say what the Cardinals need. The Cardinals do need a defensive end. If they think the Chiefs are sniffing around to come up for a defensive end, they're going to overcharge you, right?
Well, no matter what, they're going to overcharge you. They have something that you want, and they know it, and you're going to have to give up something for it. So, they're definitely going to try to rip you off.
And you're a big-time national championship. You're a championship contender team here. They're going to rip the crap out of you to try to get to where you are. I just think it's smoke. I'm going to end the poll. The Chiefs trading into pick number 3. We've got 67% of the chat saying right now that they believe it's smoke, and only 33% say fire. I'm kind of curious why 33% are really thinking we're going top 3. Now, look, I'm not ruling out a trade up. I definitely believe the Chiefs could trade up, but I just think 3 is too rich. It doesn't make any sense, and honestly, nobody even reported it. Just some overzealous Chiefs fans got on board and decided that they're going to report it that way.
It's kind of weird. Yeah, that's the first thing I noticed is they were, quoting Jeremy Fowler saying that he said it, and go find that for me, please.
Yeah, it's not there.
He didn't do it. He didn't do it.
Let's move on to claim number 2. Claim number 2 is more realistic, I guess. Rumor number 2, the Chiefs want Jordan Tyson at number 9. He's their wide receiver 1. He's who they want at number 9. This was put out by Sleeper Chiefs, and he quoted Schrags, Peter Schrager. He said these 32 projections are based on what I'm hearing rather than what I would personally do at each slot, and this was his last mock draft. He said round 1, pick 9, the Chiefs were going to take Jordan Tyson. Steve, the Chiefs think Jordan Tyson is the best pick at number 9. That is essentially their wide receiver 1. Smoke or fire?
Oof. I think there's some sparks. I think just common sense tells you if you eliminate all of the medical stuff, Jordan Tyson's the best receiver in this class. Now, Chiefs fit, you could argue Mekhi Lemon's a better fit. And Brett Veach even seemed to be pretty damn enamored with Mekhi Lemon in his pre-draft press conference. But Jordan Tyson's a monster, bro. We've talked about this 1,000 times, but if it wasn't for the medicals and all the question marks that surround that, Jordan Tyson is the, Jay Jetta-esque wide receiver. He's the one that's going to be the best out of all these guys, the best route runner, super athletic, just an absolute monster. But there's so many question marks around him. I don't know if I'm confident that the Chiefs would want to take that risk, because this is one of the only times, probably the only time that Chiefs are ever going to pick in the top 10 with Patrick Mahomes as their quarterback. So you got to be very careful. Do you really want to throw that away on a guy that never gets on the field because he's hurt every 2 seconds? Now, exactly what Steve Cashman is saying here is what I was getting ready to say. Peter Schrager is pretty close with the Kansas City Chiefs organization. Normally, he has a pretty good finger on the pulse, so I wouldn't doubt this a bit. So I'm gonna lean towards fire on this one. I think they might, but the only thing that kind of throws me off is I don't know if you would have to do it at number 9. I just really don't know. But then again, it depends on how those other draft boards goes and how everybody sees them. I don't know what the consensus is around the NFL with GMs and teams about Jordan Tyson's medicals. Maybe they're not worried about it the way fans are. I don't know.
Fans took off with medicals. They didn't know what they were talking about. Certain draft analysts jumped on it. I don't think that the teams cared. I think that he was pretty much cleared at the draft. He was cleared at the combine, rather, not the draft. He was cleared at the combine. I think they were pretty much waiting on that hamstring to get ready, and I don't think they were worried about it. Now, I'll agree with you and Steve here, the two Steves. Schrager might be tapped into Veach, and they may be buddies. But knowing Peter Schrager is going to come out and give away your draft pick at number 9, I don't know if Brett Veach is just going to offer that up to the world. I don't think he's going to be like, so if you're going to go tell everybody what we're going to take, we're going to take Jordan Tyson. Now, what he could do is try to bait someone into maybe trying to come up that maybe wants Jordan Tyson and didn't think he'd get out of the top 10. You also have this little thing with the Giants going on now that they got another pick at number 10 for Dexter Lawrence. They now have number 5 and number 10. They could theoretically, if they love Tyson, they may take him at 5 now, causing one of those defensive ends to fall down a little bit. So I think it's smoke. Yes, the Giants. What did I say? The Jets?
No, I was just, it kind of blows my mind that the Giants would even care about that with Malik Neighbors coming back.
They are talking about a wide receiver.
Okay.
Well, do a smoke or fire on the Giants, too. I don't care, but we're not a Giants channel, so I don't give a shit.
Right.
They've been rumored that they do like Jordan Tyson. So I'm just saying, was that a thing to make them maybe take him at 5? Or maybe the Saints. The Saints are looking at a wide receiver. Maybe you get somebody to just bite on somebody, and it is. But I'm going to say smoke. I don't think that Jordan Tyson is our wide receiver 1. I think Mekhi Lemon would be the Chiefs' wide receiver 1. That may be unpopular opinion, but I think it's true.
I would say that I agree with you, but the only reason that I think I might lean more towards they might have Jordan Tyson as their number 1 receiver is because he kind of transcends that typical Veach receiver or Andy Reid receiver or whatever. Because when you get somebody that has the potential to be as good as Justin Jefferson, I don't know if you really care that it is a guy that looks like Tyreek Hill or you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that could transcend that a bit if they think he's like that good.
Jake says we can't afford a number 1 wide receiver free agency. This is a great chance. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm not ruling out wide receiver
they won't pay
1.
receivers. We know this.
I'm just saying that the claim was that we wanted just Jordan Tyson. I can't buy that specific claim.
You think they'd take Mekhi Lemon at 9 over Jordan Tyson?
We've heard throughout the process that Carnell Tate was the hands down number 1 for the Chiefs.
No, he's not.
We've heard Mekhi Lemon. Brett Veach out of his own mouth said Mekhi Lemon the other day.
Well,
so I don't. Again,
he
this
didn't
is all.
say that he was the number 1 on their board.
No, but he said that he liked him. You're not getting him at 29.
Right.
So point is, if you just read between the lines a little bit, I don't know. I can't say 100% that Jordan Tyson is the pick at number 9.
Did you
I
poll
can't
this
do
one?
that.
I want to know what these people think.
It is polled.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and end the poll. I think we're done talking about it. The poll is over. Let's see if it'll put it up for me. Is the poll going to come up or what's happening?
Trying to get the poll up.
Here we go.
Some blue chew.
The Chiefs, Tyson, wide receiver 1, want him at number 9. 62% say smoke. 38% say fire.
I'm going to be in the minority here.
That is almost the exact poll from the first. Pretty close.
Yeah, for sure. Guys,
so wait, you said there was fire.
Do us a favor. Click the like button. Get more people in here. Let's get these polls jacked up.
You're saying it was fire?
Yeah, I think it might be. I think it could be.
You think that's fire? You think the Chiefs are literally going to sit at 9 and just take Tyson? That's their number 1 plan.
That's not what you asked me. You said, is it smoke or is it fire? Do I think it's all smoke? No. I do think that Jordan Tyson might be their number 1 receiver. If they decide to go receiver at 9, then sure, it could be Jordan Tyson.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't rule out Jordan Tyson. I just don't think he's the plan.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever. Let's move on to number 3. Number 3 gets a little more crazy. This was started by Bucky Brooks a few weeks ago.
Ooh, and
he kind of does a lot of like, he's kind of leaning into what some fans, like, I don't know why anybody thinks this. The Chiefs are going to get Kenyon Sadiq at 29. Yeah. If you think Kenyon Sadiq's fallen to pick number 29, now look, could he fall past 15? Absolutely. Could he fall into the early 20s and the Chiefs trade up to get him? Maybe so. I'll give it to you. But to sit at 29 and take Kenyon Sadiq, I don't even think you can say smoke or fire. You just say this is bullshit. So I'll say complete smoke. You're not getting Kenyon Sadiq at 29. If you were to say Kenyon Sadiq at number 9, why is my camera effing up today all the time, bro?
Doesn't like you.
It's something to do with the there's a wire here that keeps this thing plugged in all the time at all times. And I think about the wire's going bad.
You have to replace the battery all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you see a box on my face?
Yes, I do. It's tracking.
What is this?
It wants to make sure it's on your face.
There we go. I don't know what's
No,
happening.
So here's my thing about this. I also think that they're planning on getting David Bailey at pick 40, and they're planning on getting,
Yeah.
let's see. They might wait around and get Mekhi Lemon at 74.
We'll get Jordan Tyson at 109. I
What are we
think that's what
talking
I'd
about
like to
here?
do.
This is stupid.
Yeah.
Box is back. But
I
either
see
way,
it.
I don't understand this. I'm with you. I think that if the Chiefs were to go outside the box, they could take Kenyon Sadiq at number 9. They could also trade up from pick 29, or what's our second pick? Is it 29?
Yeah.
They could trade up and take Kenyon Sadiq in the mid-teens if he falls down that low. But I just don't know. Brett Veach put an emphasis on the fact that, hey, we might not get a premium position player at number 9, which is basically saying, hey, it's very well could not be a wide receiver or an edge rusher or anything like that. Maybe it could be something outside the box. Does that open it up a little bit to be like, well, if Caleb Downs falls, like that's really good value. We have to take him, so we don't want everybody getting all pissed off because they took a safety in the first round. Or if Kenyon Sadiq's there and that's their guy, they think that he's really going to come in and replace Travis Kelce eventually, then maybe they do it. I think Brett Veach was definitely trying to prep the fan base for, hey, if we take something that's not a premium position, like a halfback or wide receiver, defensive end, what have you, a left tackle, then just don't freak out, because it could definitely happen in this draft for sure.
Well, I mean, if you say not premium position, I think that's leaning more towards maybe Caleb Downs safety.
Yeah, man, Bailey at 40 and Mekhi Lemon at 74. And then I think in the 7th round, we're going to wait around and see if we can grab Peter Woods too.
Yeah. This is the equivalent of saying Sadiq at 29.
Yeah.
Like, let's quit with that.
Yeah.
Like,
What's this poll
could he
looking
fall?
like?
Could he fall a little bit? Possibly. Sadiq will be there at 29. I think this poll's over. Like, people don't even have to vote on this one. I'm just going to stop it. It's a blowout. 90% say that's ridiculous. He's not lasting the 29. Apparently, 10% of the people think that Sadiq is going to be. What's wrong with you guys?
Yeah, he's not going to be there at 29.
I don't understand this box
Hey,
on my face.
Pete
today.
said don't put Mike in a box.
Yeah, what is the box doing?
It's your punishment for something. I don't know.
It's like, I don't understand, man. You
That's
know,
so funny. Hey, you know what? If we have to deal with you being in a box for the rest of this episode, it's better than that ladybug and firework thing.
no, it's a feature on the camera. It goes into like a sleep mode, but it maybe my eternal battery, because you have to have an eternal battery that never shuts
Eternal
off.
battery, yeah.
Because cameras like to shut themselves off, and since I'm in video mode, it likes to do it. So maybe
Right.
it's just, I don't know. My battery could be getting bad.
It'll be all right. What we got next? Let's go to the next rumor.
Yeah, next rumor, man. This is another one that's kind of crappy. Rumor 4: the Chiefs taking a tackle at number 9. Specifically, Spencer Fano is the name we're hearing. Mark Gunnels wrote a piece called "Let's Argue Taking Spencer Fano at number 9 is not the wrong call."
Yeah. I don't think the Chiefs want a guard at pick number 9 because we are pretty good on the interior offensive line.
Yeah, and I mean that just screams to me. We took this chance 2 years ago with Kingsley Su'Mataia, and I mean it just didn't pay off. So
Yeah.
I will argue with him.
I'll
I
argue
think
all day, brother. If they're going to take a tackle at number 9, it's going to be Monroe Freeling.
that is who I'm starting to lead towards. So I'm not going to say this is
110%.
complete. I'm not saying it's complete smoke. Complete smoke on the Fano thing at 9. If they took Fano, I would say, look, you already screwed up your entire draft. Like, you just messed it up instantly if you take Fano at 9.
Yeah.
If you take a tackle at 9, I'm not going to say it's complete miss if you were to get somebody like a Monroe Freeling, because he can play left side, he can play right side, he's athletic, and you do know you got to get a tackle in the top 35. The one that I think is in play at number 9, and I hate it, I just absolutely hate it, but Caden Proctor is still
Proctor.
another name that I would not be shocked if the Chiefs at number 9 decide they want to take. I would lose my mind, but it wouldn't shock me at this point because
No.
for some reason they think Caden Proctor is God's gift to the tackle position.
Wouldn't you rather them have Caden Proctor than Spencer Fano?
Yeah, he's better than Fano. I've got him rated better than
Yeah,
Fano.
so like that's my deal. Like if they're going to take a tackle at 9 because they feel like they don't have a chance to do that at pick 29, then by all means, if you want Freeling or Proctor, I'm not going to freak out too bad. I'm not going to love it, but I'm not going to freak out about it because I do think they need a tackle over on the right side. I don't have a whole lot of faith in Jalen Moore being that guy for the entirety of the season next year. I just don't. He seems to be a bit injury prone, and he also got worked a little bit last year. So then we start looking at his backup right now. It's Asa Pole. Love Asa Pole, but I don't know if he's as good as people think he might be. We didn't get to see him enough. So,
Yeah.
like, I don't know. Like, I think that if they did take a tackle in the first round, it makes complete and total sense. And if they think they have to do it at 9 instead of 29, then sure. You guys are the professionals. Make that decision.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not going to throw this one completely out. I don't think it's complete smoke with a tackle at 9 because if Monroe Freeling or Caden Proctor is a top 10 guy on their board and all those edge rushers are off the board, you never know. And you know what's funny? We actually went through really early in the process. I want to say maybe January, maybe even early February, but we did a few different mock drafts by taking corner at 9, tackle at 9, edge at 9, safety at 9. We even took Sonny Styles at 9. And we kind of looked at the draft. And if you remember, taking the tackle at 9 actually turned out to be the fan favorite draft out of everybody down the board. Yes, you didn't get the high impact pass rusher of Bain or Bailey, but you did get, I remember, I think at the time we took Maui Noah, but still at 29 and 40, we ended up getting like monster picks. We got like, I want to say it was like TJ Parker, Zion Young, people that people in our chat liked. There's a lot of people that think Zion Young's just as good or better than Ruben Bain. I mean, there's those people out there.
Yeah, there are those people. Now, could he end up being better than Ruben Bain when it's all said and done? Sure. Chances of that, probably slim. If you're trying to say he's better than him now, you're flat out wrong. But our boy Fred, been a member for 7 months, says, I'll boycott if they pick Falk at 9. I think Falk's too much of a project and kind of one-dimensional at the moment to pick in a top 10 in a draft. I love the fact that the kid's 20 years old and he's very promising, high ceiling. But you have to work on an entire pass rush arsenal for this guy because he does nothing for you other than stop the run. That's all
Could
he's
you
gonna do.
imagine if the Chiefs sit at number 9 and take Caden Proctor, Spencer Fano, and then they trade up from 29 to like 23 and they get Keldrick Falk?
Would that surprise
That
you
is the
in least?
most Chiefs draft in the history of Chiefs drafts. I would be livid.
Yeah, dude.
And there's nothing I can do about it. Just sit here and cry about it.
Julia says, I'm a freak the F out.
Yeah, I think everybody. I mean, I'm talking
Everybody's
like a
gonna crash
lot
out,
of Chiefs
break their
Kingdom
TVs.
crash out if we come out with a tackle and Keldrick Falk in round 1 out of this draft.
Yeah, I don't think they would do that. I don't think they would, honestly. Like, it makes the most sense to me right now with the Chiefs' needs. And, of course, I'm going to have to think about this long and hard because we're getting ready to do final mock drafts here soon. So it's like, right now, the only thing that makes sense to me is maybe going up and getting your guy if you want David Bailey or Ruben Bain and then kind of move
Where are
move
you
up
going?
again.
Are you going to
don't-
3?
You might not
You just
have
said it
to.
was smoke.
Or
You just said it was smoke.
what, to go up to number 3?
Yeah, you said
Yes,
smoke.
it is. I'm saying if they're there,
you
like,
just
if they're there at like 6 or 7, like Brett Veach said, and he wants to go get them, then they might do that. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right,
And
but I
then-
just said you'd go up to number 3, and you said, yeah, if you have to.
Oh no! I didn't hear you. I was ignoring you like usual. Sorry.
Yeah, that's true.
No, but for real,
Don't even know why I'm here.
I don't think they would go up to 3 at all. It's too much. It costs way too much. But I do think you have to kind of attack that premier edge rusher early if you want. I don't see them going Keldrick Falk. I don't see them trading up for Keldrick Falk if they don't go defensive end in the first pick. I don't know. I think like Malachi Lawrence to me would make more sense way later. A couple other guys, Danny Dennis Sutton. I don't know. I'm not a huge Keldrick Falk fan. I just don't know if they would do that.
Keldrick Falk's got the most Spags-esque qualities.
Yeah, but you know what? I know everybody here, and I know you are sick as shit of Spags-esque anything. Like, can we just get some football players? I don't care if Spags' wiener tingles a little bit when he sees somebody. That doesn't seem to help. We've been watching
Maybe
these
not,
crappy
but
players for. Oh, look, man,
who's
Spags
coaching?
Spags can call a defense, but his personnel decisions have been pure ass.
But at the end of the day, who's making the calls? We ain't.
No, but
Spags,
Andy's
last
gonna
time
have
I
to be like,
checked.
look, Andy's gonna have to be like, look, man, you call good defenses sometimes, but
What do
your
you
choice
mean? They're
personnel's
probably
ass.
making backdoor handshakes. Like, look, you can have Keldrick Falk, but you better give me Zach Branch. This guy just got arrested today. He's higher on the draft board. You know that's coming. Branch just got arrested today. Did you see that? He's moved up
yeah.
the draft board at least 3 or 4 spots.
It is the stupidest story I've ever
It
heard.
is.
I don't think it means anything.
It don't.
honestly.
But he's still going up the draft board. Why wouldn't he?
What do you mean up the draft board?
You got the Chiefs.
Oh,
They
for the
love
Chiefs.
wide receivers with
He's-
problems.
Mike, they're already drafting Zach Branch.
And he's
I'm
already
almost-
the sexiest pick they can find.
if they don't take Jordan Tyson or Makai Lemon in the top of the first round or move up to get them in mid-teens, they are going to draft Zach Branch. Just write it down.
You love that pick.
I don't
You've got
love the pick,
No,
but
but you've got a few guys. Like, you're convinced they're taking Zach Branch, and you're convinced they're
Caleb
taking
Banks.
Caleb Banks.
Yeah, 100%.
You're just convinced of that. Like, nothing's
Yeah.
getting you off those two things.
Those two are going to be on my final mock draft.
If
I've
those
had them
two
on
don't
every one
get
of them.
picked,
I've had them on.
though.
I had them on the first two, and they're going to be on the third one. Those two guys are going to be Chiefs if Brett Veach has anything to say about it. If he can get them, if they're there and available when he thinks they're going to be Chiefs. I'd almost bet it.
Yeah, maybe so. Well, actually, let's go ahead and end this poll here, and let's go to the last one.
In the poll, hey,
Chiefs
can
will
we get this
take-
real quick? Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Fred with the 2 bomb says we have to pickle in front of Saints. So I think he's saying that they need to get in front of the Saints to get probably one of those edge rushers. You think the Saints would be the one that would snag out Reuben Bain or somebody right before them if they fell?
Or Tyson. He could be talking about the Tyson thing, too.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. But either way, it's possible. They got the same needs we do. Chiefs taking the tackle, 77% say Smoke at number 9.
Fano,
And I think
yes.
we're specifically talking about Fano there. But I'll tell you, man, it would not surprise me. It really wouldn't. Let's get to the last one really quickly, and then we're going to get to the chat. We're going to talk about some other things today. Last one. Rumor number 5, the Chiefs are going to take Delane at 9, and specifically a corner, I think. I think you can put Jermod McCoy in this, too. I've seen some heat over McCoy. NFLs.com Nick Shook come out with a thing. This was on April 2nd. but
Another
there's been
slap nut that thinks Kenyon Sadiq's
Yeah.
going to go at 29.
There's been a few more. Yes, he's got Sadiq at 29 yet again. But he says General Manager Brett Veach immediately addresses the need because of McDuffie with the most consistent corner in the class. And I've also seen a lot of people say that Delane is Trent McDuffie. That's another one. I think this is smoke as well. I'm not buying into any of this.
They're not even nearly the same. Like Delane is a boundary cornerback through and through. McDuffie is a slot guy that could play on the outside. He is Avion Terrell. He is what's the other kid's name here? It's kind of fleeing me. There's 2 guys that remind me of McDuffie, and neither of them are Delane.
Did you pass out there or?
No, I think you did. You were typing something very important.
I'm sorry. I'm just over here doing the polls and doing everything else like I always do. Why
No.
is it that every year we get around this time? Watch, we're going to do the whole draft.
I like to pick on you.
We're going to do the whole draft, and I'm going to have to do every single thing, 999 freaking things, and you're going to be over here doing one thing, and then you're going to blame me. And then I'm going to sit here and have to listen to this bullshit music for an hour and a half while I'm doing work, and you're just over here talking to everybody and then acting like I'm doing something stupid.
Hey, I wouldn't care to do the poll. You know, I'll help you.
You don't need to touch a poll. You got so many dang kids. Like, let's not get a poll going in your pants at all, brother.
Let's go, man. Hey, but for real, I don't know where they came up with Delane and McDuffie. That makes no sense to me. And that's what I was kind of throwing off to you there. Like, he's not even close to McDuffie, correct?
I mean, there's similarities, but they're not like close. I don't think. I think if you want to say, here's how they're the most close. I think that they can both play the slot. I think they're both press man corners, and I think they can both get bullied by big wide receivers. Being 6'1", 187, I think he's going to get bullied by some wide receivers just like McDuffie. So I think their shortcomings are kind of the same. Yeah.
McDuffie's what? He's not 6 feet, is he?
No, he's a little bit shorter, but I'm just saying, like, he gets a little bullied with his size.
Correct. Yeah. I don't know, man. I just don't think they play similarly at all. I didn't think so when I watched tape, but maybe to somebody. Fred with a 2 bomb says he has never played one day in the NFL. Yeah, none of these guys have ever played one day in the NFL. So, I mean, it's really hard to say people are completely just wrong about anything. But when I see someone like Kenyon Sadiq and that, like, generational athleticism there, like, historic numbers as far as tight ends are concerned at the combine, mismatched nightmare type player, I can't fathom somebody wouldn't take him before pick 29. This doesn't make any sense to me. I really don't think that you're going to go through 28 NFL teams, especially with a handful of them needing tight end, and they'll be like, nah, we're good. We'll get Sam Roush later in the draft. He's just as good. That's not going to happen. It doesn't make any sense. I can't buy into that one. And cornerback at 9, it's a terrible idea for the Chiefs, in my opinion. You got too many needs to fill, and that cornerback position, I understand we have to replace Trent McDuffie and Jalen Watson, but it just seems entirely too rich to take one of those guys at number 9 when I think there are guys at 29 and even at 40 that are just as good.
I think the Chiefs have already kind of shown their hand a little bit. And here's what I'll say. I don't know if McCoy, it's not been reported if McCoy or Delane has taken a top 30 with the Chiefs. I do know they've spoke to both of them, I think, at some point. But the ones that actually got a top 30 was Chris Johnson, who maybe at 29. If you're hearing what I'm hearing, he could go as early as 23 or 24. But still, like, Chris Johnson, they brought in Colton Hood. Now, I'm feeling like that could be a pick 29 kind of thing. I think they're looking towards 29 and 40. And then if you listen to anything Brett Veach said, he said there's a pocket of them mid-round. So
I think he's talking about Dalen Everett. I think he's talking about Charles Demings, Keontae Scott, Devin Moore.
There's a few.
I think that's the ones he's talking. Julian Neal,
Will Lee. There's a bunch of them.
I don't think he's talking about those. Like, there's a pocket of them at 29 as well, and 40. If you want to start talking about Terrell falling down the board a little bit, and then you're talking about D'Angelo Pons, Chris Johnson. I don't think that's the ones he was talking about.
Well,
brother.
the more I see and hear, it feels like to me that Chris Johnson's coming up the board like pretty hard. He could go first round. But like Brandon Cisse, that's a guy early in this process was a lock first round pick, and he's kind of fell off. But I feel like him at pick 40.
That was the dude
could
I was
probably
trying
be
to,
somebody.
When I stopped because I couldn't think of the name of the player I wanted to talk about, and you got mad at me for getting quiet. That was who I was trying to think of, was Brandon Cisse. Brandon Cisse and Avion Terrell remind me of Trent McDuffie more than anybody else in the draft. If you want to play.
Yeah, I think Cisse, like, for some reason, he's kind of, the hype train's kind of fell off on him. Mm-hmm. But the one thing that I will say is Cisse does not play a lot of press. Could he do it? Maybe. But yeah, I think if you really want a good press corner, there's a bunch of them. I'm starting to find more and more every day. Like, we're going to have a video out with Broshmo on Monday, tomorrow. We're going to put that out. So me and Broshmo talked about one, and I watched his tape today, and I absolutely love him.
Yeah.
Like, I really like him. So I'm finding more and more down the board.
Jake says, what's the difference between taking corner at 9 or 29? In my opinion, if you take a corner at 9, then you're eliminating yourself from getting a top tier player of a position that you need more than corner, essentially. So, like, I think that pass rush is more important. I think wide receiver is probably more important if you want really top end guys, because I think the top end guys that you have to get at number 9 as far as cornerback go, which is only 2 guys, it's Delane or Jamad McCoy. I don't think there's much drop off from those two to say the 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe even all the way up to 10 cornerbacks. I don't think there's a massive drop off. Now, if you start looking at some of the other ones, now I know that Brett Veach said defensive line is deep throughout the first 4 rounds ish, give or take, but I still think there's a bigger cliff after you get past David Bailey and Reuben Bain than people want to talk about. I think there's a pretty good gap between those guys and the next tier guys.
Yeah, I think even with tackle for me, Maui Noah at right tackle, he's the best tackle in this draft, right tackle. Best left tackle would be Monroe Freeling, in my opinion. And then your next guy up on the board is going to be Fano, who I believe Look, Fano has 32-inch arms. People want to bitch and moan about Reuben Bain, but Fano's supposed to be playing a tackle position with 32-inch arms. The Chiefs have never drafted a tackle with that low of arms. Never. So why are you going to take one in the top 10?
Why does it remind you of? Do you remember like a few years back when it was like the Chiefs are going to take Alex Leatherwood?
Right, and
we're
Alex
like,
Leatherwood
dude,
sucked.
His arms are this big, bro.
Leatherwood
And, like,
sucked.
Yeah,
he
he
was
wasn't good
horrible.
anyway.
That's why Caden Proctor scares me a little bit, because offensive tackles from Alabama routinely stink. Like they're not great. But anyway, Maui Noah and Freeling, and then you've got a decent gap in my opinion, and then it gets to Fano and then Ihanichor. Ihanichor I don't think steps in and plays great year one. I think he's got a big learning curve there. He's not played a lot of football. But Blake Miller, Caden Proctor, those two, maybe you could put those probably above Fano and Ihanichor, and I'd probably be fine with it. Like, I'm starting to come around a little more on Caden Proctor, but not because of Caden Proctor, but because I realize Fano and Ihanichor and all these guys have a lot more shortcomings than you think. So that's what Brett Veach is saying. These are guys that once you get past that top 6, you're in trouble. You're not getting one of these past 35. So that really does put tackle in the top 2 picks, in my opinion. Like you said with corner, Delane and Jermod McCoy both have their shortcomings to the point where, like, there isn't that much difference. Like, you could see a Colton Hood come out and be a lot better in the NFL than Jermod McCoy was. You could see a guy like Chris Johnson being a lot better than Delane. Like, you really could see it. So I don't think there's a big gap there. And then with the receiver, there's good receivers sprinkled in probably all the way down to pick 150. You can find a good receiver.
Yep. Man, go ahead and end that poll if you haven't already on this last one, because I think I'm calling it smoke 100%.
It's smoke. It come out to be 67% smoke. The Chiefs are going to take a CB at 9, 33% fire. So it was about 70% every one of these in favor of what we decided to choose with. So it sounds like the people are on board.
Yeah, for sure.
The same mentality.
Let's take this one from Greg real quick, and then we'll get to a little break. But he says, when you take into account all receivers available in this draft, aren't Sadiq and Stowers the best and most athletic? You know, it's funny because when you do lump them in as receiving threats, they're definitely ahead of a lot of the receivers in this class. I don't think you can put them above Jordan Tyson or Mekhi Lemon. Carnell Tate is right there too, but then you got to start talking about Sadiq and Stowers. Like, honestly, maybe you could throw Omar Cooper in that mix. You're right. I don't think they're at the top, but I think they're definitely in the top. They're easily in the top 10 receivers, and probably borderline 5, 6, somewhere in that range, I would say.
Yeah. Sadiq runs a faster 40 than Mekhi Lemon. Mekhi Lemon's a 4.5 guy. Sadiq's a 4.3. Omar Cooper's a 4.42, and Sadiq's faster. Carnell Tate is a 4.53. Eli Stowers is faster than him.
Yep.
So now you have, there's only like I'm just saying down the board, there are no wide receivers faster than Kenyon Sadiq except for maybe 4. You're looking at Zach Branch,
Brennan
DeJon
Thompson.
Stribling, Ted Hurst, Deion Burks, Brendan Thompson.
Yeah.
That's probably like the ones, and the rest of them and like I said, yes, they're tight ends. I get it. They got the TE next to them. But in the modern day NFL, tight end is not about being an inline tight end. Nobody really sets up and does that. Hell, Kelsey don't even do that. He's playing out of the slot. He's playing all this stuff. He's not really lining up as an inline tight end. You have tight ends 2 and tight end 3 and tight end 4s for that stuff. You want a matchup nightmare that can come out, spread the defense, get open, do things like that. And you've got 2 physical freaks coming out this year in Stowers and Sadiq that if you look at them, no, they didn't come out and compare as good as Brock Bowers in stats or anything like that. But that's what you're looking at is like, how did Brock Bowers look? That's how we're going to use these 2 guys.
Yep. I think Jeff Caldwell, they're saying in the chat, would probably be one of the guys above him, but of course he's not.
Yeah,
all
Caldwell's
that when
probably
it comes
there
to
too.
receiving.
I'm
right?
not. Look, guys. I didn't name every single wide receiver in the draft. There's 77 wide receivers available. Like I didn't go. Like there's more than that actually. There's 90.
There might be some dude from McNeese State that runs faster.
Yeah, there's a few guys better. I'm just saying, like in the top, like say 20 wide receivers, they're outrunning the top 20 wide receivers.
Yeah, for sure. Guys, appreciate y'all being here. Do us a favor, hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, do it now. We'd appreciate that. We're almost to 55,000. I think we only need a few, and then we can head on towards that 100K that we're going to try to get to. So you guys hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Plus, you want to hang out with us for the entirety of the NFL draft because you're going to get the best draft coverage over here, all chiefed up. We're going to be on for the entire thing, and it's going to be a good time, man. It's going to be really fun, and I think we're going to hit a couple picks. We normally do. I think we're going to keep the momentum going, Mike. But let's shout out today's sponsor, Prize Picks.
Yeah, let's do that, man. Let's just go in here. Let's pick our Prize Picks lineup for tonight. By the way, go to the description, download Prize Picks, use code HMA. You can follow us. It's like social media. So you just put All Chiefed Up in there. You can follow our picks. You can tell us. You can do whatever. But I wanted to pick some fun stuff tonight. So I wanted to go to receiving yards over here on the NFL Futures.
Let's do it.
And they had Travis Kelce listed today. I like that one. So I wanted to do this. So we'll let the chat kind of help us pick this one. Travis Kelce in 2026, they're saying 674.5. So you got to get to 675.
Or less, guys.
More or less on Travis Kelce getting over
Throw it in the chat.
675. I'm very curious what you guys are going to think because was he more than this last year?
Yes. Yeah.
He was more. Now, you got to say, look, are they going to draft a tight end that maybe is going to steal some time? Are they going to go more wide receiver heavy? Are they going to run the ball more? Is Travis Kelce declining? I think this is why they've moved down to the 674.5.
I think this is an easy more for me.
I think you're going to go more, and I think I'm going to go more as well. I think that more makes sense here. That's what I'm going to do, and I think the chat agrees. There is no more Chiefs players down through here on receivers, but I will say that at some point I did see Kenneth Walker appeared. We can put Kenneth Walker in on this too. 299.5 receiving yards on the season.
We're going more.
You're going more on 300 receiving yards out of Kenneth Walker. Now, if we divide that up to 16 games, let's say Walker plays all 16 games, or out of the 17 now. So you're playing 17 games. 300 is what you got to get to, divided by 17 games. Now, if he misses any games, he's only got to get to 17 and a half yards per game. So 18 yards per game. So you think it's going to be more?
Yes. Oh, yeah. I think that there could definitely be games where Kenneth Walker has 50, 60, 70 yards receiving. So absolutely, I'm taking the more.
Okay. And so we have to have, now you'll see this, picks must be from at least two different teams. So you've got to pick a different team. So look, let's just come down here and let's just take one of these guys. Let's go to Jalen Waddle going to the Broncos, a divisional rival. Do we think Waddle's going to be over 849.5 receiving yards?
Not with Bo Nix as quarterback.
Yeah, I can't buy that. I cannot buy this one. I'm going less here. And we're just going to lock this one in, man. I'm just going to keep it at $1 to win $5. I mean, look, we do it for fun. We're not doing it to get rich. That's the way you should do all this, people. Just have fun with it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm submitting this thing. And again, you can download Prize Picks. You can follow along at All Chiefed Up. Use code HMA. The lineup is successful, Steve. And look, we had fun with it, man. I think it's fun. I've been having fun with Prize Picks, so go download that. And again, there's been a few people follow us on there. And here's what I'll recommend. Don't tell us for picks until football season. Look, I try to play soccer. I try to do baseball. I try to do basketball. I suck at those. Like, I don't hit nothing.
Nothing
Nothing
at all.
Don't tell me on a soccer pick, please.
Yeah, but hey, guys, get Prize Picks. Use code HMA when you're signing up. We'd appreciate it. Let's get to the chat a little bit here, man. Let's do that. I've seen a couple questions popping up here.
Yeah, let's do it, man.
If you got any questions, make sure to get them in the chat. We'll try to get to as many as we can. We'll take any and all super chats. We'll make sure we get you. But we'll start with Mickey Moonrock here. Says, what position upgrade would have the biggest impact? That's the answer for pick 9. That's a great question. I think that's the $1 million question. Like, which position, upgrade is the most valuable? Like, what's going to have the biggest impact? And I think that's what the Chiefs are going to try to do at 9. Now, you can argue that because, I mean, some people could say, well, we have to have a wide receiver. Our wide receiver core is a little thin. You know, when you're looking at our WR3 being Tyquan Thornton and 4 being a guy that we haven't really got to see play yet, and Jalen Royals, we have to get a wide receiver. So you got the other side of the fence here who's like, dude, our pass rush has sucked ass so bad. Like, we have to figure something out there. So there is a couple that you can argue, but I think without a doubt, it's going to have to be those two I mentioned, and then maybe throw in tackle, because I mean that position is always like valuable to upgrade, because Patrick Mahomes, your quarterback, he's coming off an injury, and you want to make sure that he stays upright and hit jersey clean this season. So, what would you say is the one position though, Mike?
Oh, it's edge. We don't have an edge opposite of George Karlaftis. We don't have one. So what are you going to upgrade? Like, you have to upgrade that. You can look at wide receiver like you said, but again, let's take into account this. Rashee Rice is not going anywhere this year. Xavier Worthy is back on the team, and Tyquan Thornton done a pretty good job last year. Andy Reid does not tend to use wide receivers that much. Like, he just won't do it. So if you take a wide receiver early, you're banking on a guy that won't even play. So I think you got to rank edge over wide receiver.
I think it depends. I think if you were to get a Jordan Tyson, I think he instantly starts, and you're to see him on the field all the time.
That's possible, but
Yeah.
it's maybe not possible either. It wouldn't surprise me if Andy didn't throttle Jordan Tyson, and especially with him with injury concerns. Look at what
That'd be
Jalen
pretty
Royals
crazy.
did. So
I'll
look,
go
the
with
only
you. I'll say
other
defensive end,
position,
though, right?
But the only other position that could do that, and this is where people get a little weird because, well, we develop them late. But I honestly believe a corner at 9 is better than Christian Fulton that won't be on the field. You can't rely on him.
I don't think the overall positional value of cornerback is good enough to take it number 9. That's my opinion.
Well, you didn't ask me that. You said what upgrades?
It's the most
Upgrade
valuable.
is over Christian Fulton. Now, I'm not saying that's better than edge, but I'm saying that whoever you take at number 9 is better than Christian Fulton.
Correct, but I think the question was more of like, what's more valuable upgrade? Like upgrading our corner or upgrading our defensive end? You know what I'm saying? I think that's the way I read it.
Well, edge is obviously like number 1 across the board. That's why I think Brett Veach has got to do something to get an edge.
Yeah, we got Justin from Facebook says, so who would you take, Reese or Bain, if you had a choice? So here's the thing, man. If you would have said Bailey or Bain, I would have probably said Bailey, because I am ready to get outside of the box. I'd love to see a true pass rusher, like obviously you're never going to get another Derek Thomas, but we want something like that. Like something that's just like, this dude is meant to rush the passer. That's what he does. It's literally all he's for, and that's what he's going to do. So I would lean more towards Bailey than Bain at this point. But I don't know if I can get on board with Reese, because I don't think Reese is going to be a guy that's going to be able to get down there, get his hands in the dirt and get it done. Now the speed is unmatched at that position. The athleticism's crazy. But I don't know, man. I feel like he's a little small, and I feel like he's going to fit better as an outside linebacker. I just do. I feel like you're going to be in that Josh Uche territory where it's like we don't know what to do with this kid. And I don't trust that with Reese. So that's my reason. I think I would lean towards Bain in that position. But if they took Reese and thought they could do something with him, I'm not going to be mad at it.
Yeah, look, I think Reese probably comps better to a 3-4 outside linebacker. He's probably going to be better standing up without his hand in the dirt.
Like a Micah Parsons type, sort of.
Yeah, he kind of reminds me of the kid that came out last year early from Penn State, Abdul Carter. He kind of has that vibe to him. Like, he's just undersized. You're going to do it. And I think he's probably going to stand up more than Abdul Carter. Bailey, I like Bailey. He's got vibes of, say, I don't know. Bailey's almost got vibes of, say, like Boye Mafe, which we kind of know the Chiefs have went after him a little bit. So that's why I think Bailey could be a possible. But if you're just
a little better in the run game than Bailey, though.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. But if you give me Bain or Reese, I'm taking Bain all day. His floor is a lot higher than Reese, because I'm telling you, he can actually be of value in the run game. You can play him all 3 downs, and he does cause enough chaos in the pass game that if you just get to the point to where Bailey cannot be handled one-on-one, and you just got to slide anybody his way, be it a chipping running back, or maybe a guard has to just give an eye over one way and just make sure you're giving Chris Jones and you're giving George Karlaftis just enough of the other side to where they're going to start getting more one-on-ones and better matchups. I just think Bain is the better pick. He's got the higher floor.
Yeah, Kyle, just Chief KT here. It says Kyler, so it almost threw me off. Who is the Sky Moore of the draft that we would take? Who is the Sky Moore of this draft that we would take, Mike? You know who? And this might be unfair, but you know who I think it is?
Who?
Skyler.
You think Skylar Bell?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
mean.
Yeah. He was highly productive in college. Don't get me wrong. But so was Sky Moore. So that's why I'm there. I don't see it with Skylar Bell. I don't think he's going to translate well. And I might eat these words because, hey, there is a shot that he could come in and be one of the better receivers. But that was the same case with Sky
Right.
Moore. That's exactly what I see with him. It's like I don't know if I trust it or not.
Right.
Like, you know, he's
I like
playing at
Skylar
Connecticut.
Bell. I like Skylar Bell. I think he's a little bit better than Sky Moore.
Is he?
It's mean.
Is he?
I think anybody's better than Sky Moore.
Was he a better
honestly.
college player than Sky Moore?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he had multiple years of good stuff. Sky Moore had one.
Sky Moore was a dog in college.
Yeah, but only for 1 year.
Right. Well, true.
That was another reason why we say you need to have 2 years. I'll give you two. Eric Rivers out of Georgia Tech, 5'10", 179. He's a speedster. Like he's
Right, but I
got
don't
the
think
vibe.
anybody would take him in the second round.
Oh, you're saying second round?
Yeah, who's the Sky
specifically?
Moore of this draft? Like, who's the guy that you
Oh,
don't want to
okay.
take in second round? Yeah.
Oh, well, in that case, it's probably going to be like Zach Branch. I don't think he's Sky Moore, but I'm just saying he's the only one in the second round area that's got his body type and his style.
Yeah, I wouldn't be comfortable taking Zach Branch in the second round, but if I get him in the third, I'm not mad about it.
Right. There's nobody else there. There's just nobody. Like the other round 2 wide receivers for me is Chris Bell. That's nothing like him. Jeremy
Bell's a
Bernard,
beast.
Antonio Williams, Chris Brazzle, Ted Hurst. They're all too
Yeah,
big
they don't
bodied.
really match him. Yeah.
No, Zach Branch would be the only guy there. But if you're going down the
I
board,
think I hit the nail on the head.
Eric Rivers, and there's another guy too out of Mississippi State, Brennan Thompson. Just
Yeah,
because he's
John
fast.
Ross. Yeah.
Yeah, just because he's fast doesn't mean he's going to translate. But at 5'9", 164, which I think he's quite a bit smaller than Sky Moore.
Yeah. Jaron with the 2 bombs has convinced Bane to leak a vid with a gas mask bomb. Yeah, that's all we got to do to get him to fall a little bit. Pull a Laramie Tunsil.
Maybe, yeah.
You know, it's funny that so many people passed on Laramie Tunsil because of that, and he ended up being as good as he is. It cracks me up. It's like, that's the kind of stuff that you have to look past. If you're telling me that a college kid was ripping bong hits from a gas mask, do you think that makes me, oh, he's a terrible, oh, no.
Yeah,
Like, no, he's a college kid. What
It
are we
wasn't
talking
even
about?
a year later. Like you legalized it everywhere.
Right, like, what are we even talking about here? Why that made him fall as far as
that
it did, I'll
didn't
never
make
know.
any sense, dude.
That is pretty crazy. Like, I can understand if it was something like they ignore like stuff that should make them pass up guys, and
Yeah.
that's weird.
Wasn't there a Rashee Rice story where they like shot up a car or something, and that was completely fine?
Yeah, that's cool. Take him.
But don't get the
that
guy.
smokes weed,
and
though.
like they should be more impressed that he found a gas mask and then hooked it up to the THC or whatever he did.
Yeah. Let's see. Mickey Moonark says we already have Sky Moore. His name's Jalen Royals. That's unfair.
Ooh.
That's unfair.
I mean, if you want to go with the underperforming,
How can you underperform when you haven't played?
I don't know, but I mean,
I think
just the way it is, man.
he's got to get his opportunities to get out there, but also Jalen Royals wasn't a second round draft pick either. So I don't know, man. I have more faith in Jalen Royals than that. I think if he actually gets out there this season and gets to play consistently, I do think he'll be valuable. He'll probably do more than Sky. You know what's funny though is I went back and there was some random game I was watching the other day. I don't even remember what it was now, but Sky Moore was. It must have been his best game as a pro.
it had to
Because
be versus the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I
Was
can't
it?
remember, dude. I don't remember, but I was watching it and it was like Sky Moore was literally the leading receiver. He was making play after
It
play.
had to
and I'm
be the
like,
Jaguars.
It was so funny because I was like, I don't even remember this happening.
It was the game where he caught a deep ball up the sideline, up the right sideline, I believe. Wasn't
He
it?
was just chunking them all up the field, like using them like they should have used Sky Moore.
Yeah, they didn't do it.
Yeah, it was strange.
Dude, I was talking like I said, tomorrow we're dropping a video with me and Bro Schmo doing a Chiefs mock throughout. It's kind of fun too. It's different, dude. If you think you're going to see the same names, don't. I advise you to watch this just to find some different names because it didn't fall the way we
Well,
wanted. It
look,
scared
man.
me a little bit.
It's nice to get a person that spends 365 days a year
Yeah.
scouting draft. Like that's what this dude does. That's what he specializes in. So it's good to see, and he's not a Chiefs fan. So it's cool to get him in here and get his perspective, because I mean, you've heard our opinions, you've heard, every other Chiefs creator's
Yeah.
opinions 900 times. You've seen them on X, you've seen them on Facebook, whatever. But this is like a completely different perspective. Like all of a sudden, you got somebody that does this, literally wakes up
Right.
and eats, breathes, and poops the NFL draft, is going to tell you about what he thinks the Chiefs might do. So I think it's a cool perspective. It's worth a watch for sure.
Yeah, for sure. But do you know who we kind of did some talking about receivers at one point?
Don't spoil it.
No,
spoilers.
this didn't even make the video. But we found a guy that we thought reminded us of Calvin Austin in this draft.
I love Calvin Austin.
And there might be some people in here that love him. But do you know who we comped to Calvin Austin? The boy from Mizzou, Kevin Coleman Jr. We thought had a lot of Calvin Austin in him.
I could see that.
Yeah, so that didn't make the video, so I can put that
see
out.
that.
But yeah, so we had talked about Calvin Austin as being maybe a target this offseason, but now that makes me, because the Chiefs have talked to Kevin Coleman.
Yeah. It's funny because when you said that, I was like, there's no one in this draft that even reminds me of him at all. But Kevin Coleman actually does.
And with the return skill. Yeah, Kevin Coleman, man.
For sure. Mike, we got a freaking 5-bomb from our boy Chris Wright in the house. Let's go. Put some ketchups in the chat for Chris
Let's
Wright.
go, baby.
Best quote on Bane. He has short arms. Yeah, he has short arms, but he also has rabies. I don't know who said that, but I like
Me
the
either,
quote.
but it's spot on.
Yeah, dude. So it's funny because, I hate to be hypocritical, but sometimes when we're talking about offensive linemen, and I mentioned Alex Leatherwood earlier, and I'm like, dude, guy had little baby arms, and it just seemed like a terrible idea. I'm not big on measurables when it's just like little small, minute things. If they're good football players, offensive line might be the only position where I think that's a huge detriment.
You got to get guys from getting into your chest.
Yeah, and Ruben Bain, I understand that with the edge rushers, you want them to be able to get that initial contact and everything like that. But Ruben Bain has shown year after year that that doesn't bother him. Like, that doesn't have an effect on him. Could it? Sure, potentially. But I don't think it's going to be like he's just a wash because his arms are short. Like, there might be a play here or a play there where it was kind of, maybe if my arms were a little bit longer, I could have won that rep. But, I feel like for the most part, that's not a thing with Ruben Bain. That just makes no sense to me. I don't know why people be so fixated on it with him.
Right. It's kind of hard to explain, but I feel like offensive line, you have one or two ups, advantages over defensive line. And that's why the offensive line, you want the long arm, because the snap count and where the play's going, right? Mm-hmm. The defense is just reacting. But I feel like besides those two things, defensive players can play like Tasmanian devils, and offensive players cannot play that out of control. So I feel like with Ruben Bain, yes, the rabies, he plays like a Tasmanian devil. Like he will go crazy. He was going to spin, he's going to push, he's going to pull. There's a lot more things. If you start doing stuff that the defensive line's doing, offense is getting called for holding. Defense can get away with a lot more. They can do a lot more things. So I'm with you. I don't think that the long arms have as much. Now, the only way it does is you got to get off of the block in the run game, but he's shown that he's a great run defender. So that doesn't bother me a lot. Yeah. I'm fine with the Ruben Bain arm thing.
Yeah, I think so too. We got Josh Vasquez with the $4.99, the 5-bomb. He says, what I think the Chiefs will do is wide receiver or Sadiq at 9, cornerback at 29, and Akis at 40. What y'all think? So here's my opinion. I don't think the train of thought's bad. I think that that could be right. I don't think Gabe Akis is going to be there at pick 40.
It's a coin toss. It's a coin toss.
He might be, but I don't know, man. I think some of those guys might come off a little earlier than we think. So
that's possible too.
If he's at 40, though, sure, absolutely. Let's do it. Cornerback at 29, I'm kind of back and forth on this one. Wide receiver Sadiq at 9, if that's what you want to do, I'm not going to argue that at all. I think our offense was absolutely 100% the reason why we lost so many games last year. And I think if you want to get any kind of weapon that can get our offense moving or help Patty, I'm not going to get mad at you. But if we start talking corner, I'm back and forth about corner at 29. I absolutely am out at pick 9. Pick 29, I think the only way I consider pick 29 is if someone falls. But, I mean, the way this cornerback room is, I don't see Jermod McCoy making it to pick 29.
I don't see Delane or McCoy. So 29, the one that would fall would be Chris Johnson. Are you comfortable with Chris Johnson being there?
Yeah, no. I don't think Chris Johnson's good enough to take at 29, especially at a small school, not great competition. I don't think I take him at 29 at all. If he's there at 40, we talk about it. I don't think I take him at 29. I don't.
So why are NFL GMs loving him so much?
Measurables.
I think he's smart. He's a smart
Or that.
kid.
Yeah, I mean, it could be the football IQ. Absolutely.
I mean, I want a good football IQ at a corner. That's Trent McDuffie in a nutshell right there.
Yeah, well, that's where I was going with it. And you know who my guy would be if we took a corner at 29? It would have to be Terrell. Chris Johnson, maybe. I just feel like it's a little bit of a reach.
We fight over two players, and it is Terrell and Caleb Banks. Those are the two that we just don't see eye to eye on too well.
Yeah, I think so. Is there any
I think
more?
that might be the only two we just do not see eye to eye on. You're much big on those two more than I am.
Zach Branch. You don't like Zach Branch either. I think he's good.
Zach Branch wasn't my guy early in the process. What are you talking about?
Okay, never mind. I thought you gave me crap for saying Zach Branch.
No.
Okay, never
I
mind.
like Zach Branch. I don't think I want the Chiefs to take him again. But
Again,
will they?
like they've already picked him.
Yeah, they've picked him every other year. Like, what are you talking about?
But no, I don't think the train of thought here is far off with taking an offensive weapon and then trying to get your defense in the next two picks. But the only thing that I don't like about this scenario is I think that you have to eliminate cornerback there and start looking at offensive tackle. It's because to me, I think it makes more sense to get your offensive weapon up front or your defensive end up front. And then at that pick 29, I think you're looking at either sitting if someone falls or moving up and taking a tackle at that point. That way at 40, you can kind of take best player available. And then I think that like that pocket of cornerbacks that Brett Veach was talking about, I think he's talking about the same one I am. When you start getting into a little bit later, like after pick 40, you start getting maybe into the fourth round, there's a slew of guys that I think are almost as good as those guys at the top end. So to me, it's corner. It's always going to be corner.
If you do this little exercise with what Joshua here was doing, if you kind of look at what he does, okay, look. So at number one pick, Bain, Akis at 40. Let's just say Akis at 29, even if you don't think he's going to get to 40, which I think that there's been talk about him going in the first round. I think I'm out on it a little bit, so I would say 30s to 40s. You're probably about right.
I could see him being top end of day 2.
Yeah, for sure. But how big is the drop off between Bain and Gabe Akis? Like, what do you rate Bain on a scale from 1 to 10 as a prospect? Like an 8? He's not like the greatest prospect
but we got to
ever.
say 8.5 to 9, right? Because I think he is
Right.
top
So where
end.
would you put Akis then? Like, let's just say like a 7. So let's say 9 and 7. So you got a 2-point differential.
Gabe
Well,
Akis
let's say
is
corner.
not going to give you the run game support that you
Right.
get from
So
Ruben
let's
Bain.
say corner. So at 29, let's say, let's say tackle then. Monroe Freeling at 9. How high would you put him above like Max Ohanachor? And my point is if it's like if you say that Freeling's a 9 and Ohanachor's a 6, then you're like, well, there's a 3 gap there, so you got to take the 2 gap. Does that make sense? What I'm trying to say? I think
Yeah, but
that's how people go
it's
down
so
the board.
subjective, dude. I don't know. That'd be hard.
It
to
is
do.
subjective, but it's the Chiefs' board. Like
Yeah.
they're not worried what I think, but I'm just saying like
Correct.
on their board they would do that, and I think that's how they come up with it.
Yeah, appreciate the 5, Joshua. Something I want to do before we get off here, Mike. We've been on for a little over an hour now. Appreciate you guys being here, by the way. Do us a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, all that fun stuff. If you'd like to become a member of the channel, you can go to join.allchiefedup.com, become a member, or hit that join button up at the top of the chat there. That would be great. It also helps the channel out. You can also buy merchandise. Go to merch.allchiefedup.com. Get yourself something nice that helps the channel as well. But what I want to talk about here is the fact that Brett Veach kind of hit the nail on the head with everything that we've been saying about this draft when he did his pre-draft press conference. And the main thing that I think people should take away from it is, hey, we have 10 to 15 guys on a board that we want. Okay, we had 250 guys on our big board. 215, I think is what he said. We had 215 people on our big board. There are 10 to 15 guys that we absolutely want to have. And my job, and that's already been decided between him and Andy Reid and Steve Spagnuolo and Eric Bieniemy.
Yeah, they're done.
They've already picked 10 to 15
Yeah.
guys that they want, okay? So out of all these guys, we're talking almost 300 players. If you actually look at all who are in the draft, it's probably like 400. There are 10 to 15 people that they want. And now it's Brett Veach and his staff's job to figure out how to weasel around this draft and get as many of those 10 to 15 guys as they can get, right?
Isn't there a caveat to that 10 to 15 guys, though?
No.
There has to be. Because if you look at a big board, you're going to say, well, obviously the top 15 guys in the draft are who I want. Brett Veach is not going to get the number 2 player in the draft in the 3rd round. So they've got to pick 15 guys that they feel like they've got to pick a section for
I don't
each
think
round.
they care about position when they pick their 10 to 15 guys. Like not position like position on the football field, position of the draft. I don't think they care about that. I think what they do is they're like, these are the 10 to 15 guys that I want on this team.
No, I'm just saying though, like let's just say they have 5 wide receivers they really love. They can't have 5 guys with a round 1 grade. You're not getting that. They're going to be gone in the top 30.
I don't think that's what they do. I
think they've got to have they probably
Yeah.
got to have 2 or 3 at each position in every round of what they're saying. Like
I
this is a
don't
round 2
think-
guy, this is a round 3 guy.
I get what you're saying, but no, I don't think there's any give to how many are on that. I think it's 10 to 15 flat. These are the guys that we decided we wanted. And I think what you're saying is they're not like, oh, well, 3 of the 10 to 15 guys we want are Carnell Tate, Jordan Tyson, Mekhi Lemon, and Omar Cooper Jr.
Right, you can't
Like,
put all them at
yeah,
the top because
exactly.
they're
No.
going to be gone.
But that's the thing. I think it's easier for them because when they look at those 3 or 4 guys, they are like, hey, that one's probably a fit for us. The rest are not for whatever reason.
Which is why I
And
keep
we
saying I
don't
think
see that.
Lemon might be that guy.
Correct.
It
So
feels
what I
rare.
want to do is try to narrow down just real quick. We don't have to think about it too long or go into crazy discussion, but I want you guys in the chat to help us as well. I want to try to come up with 10 to 15 guys that we think the Chiefs absolutely want on this football team. Okay, and let's see, and you'll see how thin that is because when you start thinking about all these guys that we've talked about and all the players that you guys talk about in the chat, it's impossible to even put a portion of those guys on a top 10 to 15 list. So
Well, you don't know how
that.
high to rank them.
Let's do that right after this, though. We got Phil McCamus in the house with a 10. He says, Mike, we have a problem. It's Steve or me, bro. I'm the original fat guy food junkie. Steve slandered Burger King. We can't have that, bro.
He did. I like Burger King. I think that they have good burgers.
Phil.
But there are bad Burger King locations, but that's for everything.
Bro, I'm just saying this. Let me put it this way, and you guys y'all can keep talking trash on me if you want. I'm sorry, Phil, but here's how I feel about it. No pun intended. I think like even if you take the best item, which is a Whopper, right?
Ooh.
The
Double
Whopper's-
Bacon King.
Whatever. Take their best.
That's what I
burger.
love.
Take
Okay.
their best burger and put that up against any other fast food place's best burger, and it's going to come bottom tier. There's no way.
No.
Yeah, 100%. Like a McDonald's double quarter pounder is better than a Whopper. It's not even an argument.
I don't like Whoppers. But I like the Double Bacon King, so I would say it's better than the double quarter pounder.
So, no, you're wrong.
It wouldn't be the Wendy's. I like the Wendy's burgers better. But I've had Wendy's that suck too. I don't want to talk about this anymore. I appreciate you, Phil. You're making me hungry. I appreciate you. Let's come up with these 15 guys. Look,
Yeah,
I think
let's
you
just
got to
stick with
have
15. Who's on
I
that
think
list?
you got to go to each pick. So we have how many picks in the draft? We've got like 7 or 8. I think that Brett Veach is looking at I think he says 15 or 16, which means you probably have 2 in each round that you are really targeting at that specific area of when you pick. And I feel like that makes it to where he's probably only going to take 7 guys. That's what he's looking at. So he's planning on trading up at least once or twice. So I think at pick number 9.
That's the whole point. I think that was the point he was making. If we have 10 or 15 guys that we want on this team, it's our job now to go maneuver
Right.
the boards and get them.
I think at pick number 9, he's got 2 guys that he wants. One is an edge rusher, and one is probably his other position of need, whether it's going to be tackle, corner, or wide receiver. I think that's what it's going to be. So I think Reuben Bain is is a player on his board.
Reuben Bain and David Bailey are both on this board, and that makes it crazy to think about when you start thinking about how thin it gets.
Right.
Well, I'll
So
tell
if
you who
those
else
2
is
are
on
on
that
your
board.
board, who?
Like that's the thing. This is why it gets. That's why I wanted to do this with you, because I tried to do this myself. And if you think about it, naturally, Reuben
almost
Bain and
impossible.
David Bailey have to be on the board. Now, if they've already decided I don't want that one, I want the other one, then maybe it's not.
Right.
But because here's how, like you're saying, okay, it's going to be these 2, but I guarantee you that if you start thinking about this, there's no way that Kenyon Sadiq and Eli Stowers are not on their board. One of those 2 are on there.
But do you think it becomes one of those things where it's like they have pockets? So you've got like 5 guys here, 5 guys here, 5 guys here, and then they've got one out of the 5. And say they're all on the board. They got one they specifically like, and they rank them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then down. So they've got literally ones, but they've got to have backup plans.
Well, this is what we're talking about, Steve. There's no way if Brett Veach was only able to get one of the 15 players that they absolutely want on the football team, he would be fired.
Well, he can't just pick the top 15 players in the draft. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
You can't just put the top 15 players.
We're following.
Okay.
But you don't think that he has a tight end on the board? Because I guarantee you he probably has at least Sadiq, Stowers, or maybe one of them other guys late there. So there's going to be one tight end on that 15. And then you're looking at wide receiver, you're probably looking at 2, 3 defensive ends, 2, 3 wide receivers. You're probably looking at what, 2, 3 tackles.
I think he's
Corners,
got.
There's probably 3.
I think they've got 5 positions of need. This is what I think they've done. They've took their top 5 needs: tackle, wide receiver, defensive end, defensive tackle, and corner. Probably like that.
Like some guys, right?
They probably pick 3 of each that they prefer. Then they probably went down the board and they've picked a couple in each round that they'll take as backup.
I
plans.
think there's one maybe.
Because you're telling me if all 15 of their players,
one linebacker on this list.
If all 15 of their players magically left the board at round 4, you're telling me in round 5 and round 6 they just don't pick anybody?
I don't think that all their players are in that top half of the draft.
It don't have to be. I'm just saying, like, think they got Kevin Coleman as a round 4 guy, but let's say Kevin Coleman, somebody swipes him in round 3. Like, what are you going to do? You just don't have a backup plan. So I think they got to have backups.
No,
I think they've got 5 or 10 in each position. Yes.
They have a big board, but they have 10 to 15 players that they absolutely want. His job is to get as many of those 10 to 15 as he can.
Which
if
means,
they cannot get them, they're not going to get all 10 or 15
right.
of them, right? Because you're only picking 7 picks. Now, if all 7 or 8 picks are not off that list, that's fine. But that's why they have a big board, because if it gets to that point, it's not like they're going to reach on one of those guys. So say if one of the guys on there 10 to 15 were a projected 6th rounder, they're not going to take them in the 3rd round and be like, cool, we got one of the guys on the board.
Here's how I think they've had to have done it. This is the only thing that makes sense, Steve. Tell me if you're with me. Let's take wide receiver as an option. You've got 3 wide receivers at the top of the board, right? You've got Lemon, who's our best fit. You've got Carnell Tate, who's the best X. And you've got Jordan Tyson, who's just the dog. He's the best one all around. Mm-hmm. They have to go down the board and find guys similar to them. So your best fit in round 2, let's just say it's just out of the blue. Let's just say Omar Cooper Jr., besides Lemon, even though he's not going to go round 2, but let's just say it. Let's say after Jordan Tyson, it's Antonio Williams. Let's say after Carnell Tate, it's Ted Hurst. So you think out of the top 3, they're like, look, we like Lemon better than those other 2. It's Lemon. He's the guy we're getting. If we have to get an X down the board, we like Hurst in round 3. So maybe they put Hurst as one of the top 15.
That's where they refer. I think that's where they kind of refer back to their actual big board, right? And they take best player available at the position they want.
It's just really confusing.
It's very confusing.
Here's how you could almost have to do it. You would have to know how Brett Veach and them, what their biggest positions of need were, and how many out of each selection out of those 15, how many are from each position. That would be the only way to really guess this.
Well, here's my thing. Like here's what I think you're right, but I also think you're overthinking it to an extent. Because I think what they do is they have like their 10 to 15 players. This is who we absolutely want in this draft. Let's see how many of them we can get, right? But I think that if, say, Jeremiah Love is not on the list, right? He's not on the list because we got Kenneth Walker. If he falls to 9, they still might do it because of pure value, right? So it's like, that's my thing.
Let's go down the board. Let's alternate. I'll give a guy that I think's on their list, then you give a guy that you think's on their list. Let's try to do 15.
Okay, well, keep this in mind too. Something specifically Brett Veach said that I think you should keep in mind. He said that they had top 30 visits with every draftable defensive end. So keep that in mind.
Draftable.
So they had top 30s with every defensive end that they think is draftable.
Which means if they didn't interview him, they're probably not taking him.
Exactly. So keep that in mind.
Okay. So the number 1 player on their board, I think, is going to be Ruben Bain.
Okay. I think that David Bailey is also in that mix. So I think that's going to be the 2 edge rushers there right off the rip. So now let's put it this way. Do they put Malachi Lawrence on there? Do they put one of these other guys that they like? That's where it gets confusing. But let's just start with this. Let's just say Ruben Bain's 100% on the board, right? I think that
Yeah.
Mekhi Lemon is 100% on that board.
Yeah, I'm with you. I would say that those are three guys. I think Caden Proctor's on that board.
I think Monroe Freeling is on the board.
Okay. So now you're at 1, 2, 3, 4. We're already a third of the list, bro.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. This is tough. But see, that's the thing. If who did you say, Caden Proctor?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, like to me, I feel like this is where that top 10 to 15 board would come into play, where it's like, well,
Because I think Caden Proctor could be a pick at 29.
We like
possibly.
Monroe Freeling better than Caden Proctor, so we're not going to put Proctor on our top 10 to 15. So we're going to go with just Monroe Freeling. Like that's the way of thinking. Like how do
But
they
I
do
think
it?
you got to have a backup there because if he
Okay.
goes, you're just telling me the tackle's gone.
Right, but they also you have to think someone like a, which I don't think he is because of some stuff Brett Veach said, but just for instance, what if they were like, we like Markel Bell, we think he's a dog, he's going to be on our top 10 to 15 list, but he's projected third, fourth round.
Right. So then you would have already had to know that their strategy is going to be we're not taking a tackle early. We're just going to we're going to get Markel Bell in round 4.
All right, we'll just
That's
keep
our
going.
strategy.
We'll just keep going. We'll just go stick it with the 5 that we have already. Okay,
You've got
So
to
we're
think
third
of
the way down.
strategy. So number 1 would be what's our strategy? Are we going up to get Are we going up to get a? Are we going up no matter what and
I
getting
think-
an edge? Because
think
if you
what-
say yes,
I think what
then-
you need to do here is not double up any of them. So I think what you need to do, are they thinking Ruben Bain or David Bailey?
I think they're thinking Bain over Bailey.
Okay,
100%.
well, let's go with Bain. And then,
Bain makes more sense because if you can't trade up, Bain's got a better chance of sliding to 9 than the other two.
well, let's just say Bain. And then let's turn around and say Mekhi Lemon out of the wide receivers. And then
Yeah,
as far as tackles go, let's lean more towards Monroe Freeling because I think they like him better. They've met with him multiple times, and I think there's a lot to that smoke.
Man,
So,
I have this sinking feeling they like Proctor better. But look, I'd be pumped if it's Monroe Freeling.
I think it's Freeling. So let's just say those 3. And then you have to, now we have to decide.
And those
if
are
the-
all guys you're going to get at number 9, possibly. Maybe Freeling you could trade up if he were to fall.
Now let's start looking at, say, or let's go tight end. Do you think that they're leaning more towards a Kenyon Sadiq and Eli Stowers, or do you think they're looking at somebody later in the draft?
It can't be Sadiq at this point. You can't get Sadiq at 29. We've already discussed this. So you're
So
not
Stowers.
taking Sadiq over Bain if they're on the board together. You're not doing it.
That wouldn't surprise me.
I don't think you take Sadiq over Monroe Freeling if he's on the board because we know that we love Sadiq, but I think Brett Veach already told us that tackle's more important because it's only
Brett
35
Veach
deep.
also told you, hey, don't be surprised if we take a non-premium position at number 9.
Why is this so hard?
It's impossible. It's almost
It's impossible
But
to be
that's
an
my
NFL
point.
GM.
That's my point. That's what I wanted to talk to you about it for, because how do you come up with 10 to 15? So let's just say, you know what? We're not going to do Sadiq because we don't want to give that high of draft value to a tight end.
Right.
Does it go straight to Stowers? Or do you think is
No,
there
you
another
could
guy?
say, well, we like Sam Roush in round 4. That's our guy. We're going to target him.
Do you think they would do that over Stowers?
What if they
though?
say
Because I feel
Oscar
like
Delp in round 3? What if
that
they
could
say
be the
that?
guy? That could be the one. So now, where do you go with that? Because one
Let's
of those
put
guys
Delp.
are on this list.
Let's put Delp on it.
I tend to think it's Stowers, but let's go Delp.
I
They
like
did bring
Stowers
Delp in
too.
on the top 30.
But you got to remember, if you want Eli Stowers, you may have to draft him at 29. And people don't like that, but you may have to do it because
Yeah,
he may not get to
absolutely.
40.
Mike, I said that they might do that on my last mock. So
But are you going to say, is tight end that big of a need that you would take him at 29, though? Let's just say you
depends.
can't get Ruben Bain
If he's on their 10,
and you have to take the tackle. Are you going to take a tight end at 29?
So this goes back to the philosophy. So if Brett Veach is like, my job is to get as many players on this list as I can. Eli Stowers is on our list. I need to take him at 29 because he's not going to be there at 40. I don't think he's going to be there at 40, so I got to go ahead and take him, and that's a hit for me.
Oh, my
Right?
God.
Right?
Brett, what the hell are you doing, Brett?
It's crazy. Okay, another guy I think that's on this board, 110%.
So wait, who'd you put on, Stowers or you put on Dope?
Go
Which
Delp.
one are we putting on?
Go Delp. They met with Delp.
I'm trying to keep up with it. So right now we got 4. You've got Bain, Lemon, Freeling, and Delp.
Sure. Let's go Delp. Just for shits and giggles.
Yeah.
Even though I think Stowers is probably on their board. Let's go. Caleb Banks is 210% on their board, on their top 15.
This guy and Caleb Banks.
Mike, there's no
I'll put
way
him on the
he's
board
not.
for you.
Like, I don't know where you, as a guy that is really
Think-
good at getting a feel for draft, does not see how much they love Caleb Banks.
I don't take that away from it. I just don't know how you're going to get him because I don't think you can reach at 29 to take Banks, and I think he's probably gone before 40. If he's sitting on the board at 40, it would not surprise me,
100,
knowing
yeah.
that Brett
They'll
Veach
run
says
up
he
there.
wants to double team. He wants to double dip the defensive tackle.
So he's 100% on there.
That wouldn't surprise me, but 29 feels rich.
I wouldn't fall out of my chair. Let's just put it that way. But I do think if he is dropping because of the foot thing, I think that's where they would try to take advantage of a trade up from 40.
Do you have any other wide receivers on this board besides Mekhi Lemon? Because we've
Zach
already
Branch.
oh my God, you're really putting Zach Branch on the freaking list? Like, you think he's that, like, top 15 worthy?
Mike, I think he's a player they want. So, yes, I'm not saying he's top 15 in the draft. That's
No,
not
but I'm
what
just saying,
we're
like, you
doing.
think he's a final top 15 guy for the
Yes.
Chiefs list?
100%.
Bro, that's wild.
100%. Go to any other draft with Brett Veach in this era and tell me a receiver that they took that wasn't just like that.
Dude, that's scary.
Is it scary? Mike, I think you just have to wake up.
You know who I was going to put on the list? I was going to put Chris Bell. I thought Chris Bell might be it because he does Rasheed Rice.
Put them both.
Oh, my damn. What are we doing?
I don't think Bell's it, though. I
don't
bet
want to put
you-
them both if it's not it.
We'll go Branch because Branch is definitely on the list.
Oh, my God. Have they even had a top 30 with him, though? Well,
Mike,
we don't
Branch-
know.
Branch is on the list.
That's wild that you think Branch is that high on. I
Those
mean,
are the
it
two-
wouldn't surprise me.
Those are the two guys that I think absolutely 100% are on the top 15 list that I know of.
You're horned up for these dudes. Okay, look.
I'm not horned up for them. I'm not saying I love them, and I don't know why you can't grasp that.
No, I get it, but I just don't even think that the Chiefs love them as much as you think they love them.
They absolutely do. 100%.
Like, you're just very positive on those two.
Positive on those two. I'm positive. I'm not saying that they will get those two because I could absolutely see.
Well, Banks and Branch aren't going anywhere near the same pick. So,
Right, it doesn't matter. But here's what I'm saying. Here's what I'm saying. If the Chiefs are in a position to draft Zach Branch, they're going to take him. Like, if it makes sense, if they're not reaching on him and he's where they feel comfortable, they will 100% take him. Now, I'm not saying that the Baltimore Ravens ain't going to swing in there and draft him before them because they would have done the same thing with Zay Flowers.
question. Now, this could go back to the beginning. What if you have to take two positions per pick? Because think about this. You've got Bain, Lemon, and Freeling as possible
You don't
picks,
have
but
to.
you have to take them at pick 9. None of those guys are going to be there at 29. So why would you have 3 of them on your top 15 board? They're just not going to all 3 be there.
Why wouldn't they be? Because, like, that's the point of this whole thing. It's like, how many of these guys can we get? How many of these 15 people can we get with 7 picks or whatever?
But you're not going to be able to get Bain, Lemon, and Freeling in 1 and 20, like 9 and 29.
Like,
You're going to get one of those at 9, but at 29 now you've dropped 2 people off your board.
All right. I think we're done here. I don't think that we're on the same page here. I don't think they give a shit. Like, that's not the point of it. The point
It
of it
is the point of it.
It's not. It's not that how. It's not like that's the thing. That's what
You're
Brett
going to
Veach is
put
saying.
okay. So look, you got 15 and 3 out of 15. So you're telling me 20% of your board is dedicated to pick number 9?
No, because their board's 215 players.
I understand it,
There's 10 to 15 that they absolutely.
but you're dropping your 15. You
So
just
these
told
10
me
to
if
15
Brett
players are our
Veach,
favorite players. These are our favorite players in the entire
yes,
draft.
and you
This
just
is
said
what
if
I
Brett
want.
Veach can't get 3 or 4 of them, he's going to get fired. So
No, I said if he
he's-
can't get more than one, he'd probably get fired. That's what I
So
said.
he's going to he's knocking 3 or 4 out with the pick number 9, and he's
Of
done.
course, if that's how the draft falls.
Damn, there ain't no way, brother.
They're not positioned. It's not like they had a meeting and they were like, "How can we make sure that Brett
I
Veach hits
absolutely-
every one of these players that we want?" That's
No,
not what they thought. That's not.
I
how they come up with
100%
it.
believe they try to do that, and that's why I believe they're doing it by round. I believe they've got 3 or 4 guys at each pick that they like. It makes sense.
Okay, you might be right, but I don't think that's that. I don't see it that way.
Your way is dumb. You ain't going to hit nobody
How do you figure?
because out of every here, I'll tell you how I figure. Because if we do it your way and we just keep
How many
everybody
people-
on the board,
Wait. How many people do we have on the top 15 list right now?
you've got 6:
Okay, now tell me who they are.
Bain, Lemon, Freeling, Banks, Delp, and Branch.
Right. So there is at least 3 that you could hit out of the top 6, and you could hit all of them.
You could hit you can't hit all of them.
Not all of them. You could hit.
You're
3.
going to get.
I'm just saying.
Here's
you could
my
hit-
point. You're going to get Bain, Lemon, or Freeling at number 9. At 29, you're telling me at 29 they either got to reach on Caleb Banks or you're going to get Oscar Delp or Zach Branch at 29? And then at 40,
I think
who are
that
you
point
taking?
is where they would refer to their big board and take best player available. I don't think Brett Veach is going to pass up on good value to hit one of the players that they, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what I was trying to tell you forever
So
ago.
you're not making the 15 exclusive. You're saying there's 15 guys we really love.
That's exactly what he said.
It's not making sense though. You're saying there's 15 guys that you absolutely love,
Carl,
but they're
don't tell
not
us what to do.
in. You're not in. What? You're not in.
What? Like I think you're looking at it differently. I don't think they didn't play a game to see how many of these top 10 to 15 can we get. I don't think that's how it went. What Brett Veach is saying is there's 10 to 15 players that that they've decided they love and that's who they want. And my job is to get as many of them as I can. So that doesn't mean that they
So you're
tried
saying
to
they got
position it that way.
They got 15 my guys, and any chance they can grab one, they're just going to take it. But otherwise, you're just referring to your big board.
Correct. Yes.
I was saying that I think that there's 15 guys that they really love and they want on the team more than anybody else. Like it's just their favorite 15, but
That's
they're doing it by
exactly-
round.
That's what I'm saying, and I don't think they do it by round. I think they just do it overall.
Because I feel like if you put all 15 players at like number 9, then you're obviously not getting nobody. You're getting one. That was kind of like the whole point at the beginning.
I don't think all their 15 guys are first round picks. I don't think they went. These are the
Exactly.
15 best, most valuable players. Let's put them on our. That's not what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying I think Zach Branch and Caleb Banks are 100% on that list, no doubt about it. And you're talking a guy that could be second or third rounder, and a guy that could be third or fourth rounder. So there's two you could hit right there simultaneously. Do you know what I'm saying? So like I get what you're saying, but I don't. Eichhoff says we're explaining the same thing, but I don't think we are. I don't think we are.
No,
I don't think
I'm
they
saying that
specifically-
I think that the 15 is divided up between first round prospects to 7th round prospects. Steve's saying he just thinks they picked 15 random people and they'll get them if they can get them.
It's not 15 random people. It's their 15 favorite players.
That's what I'm saying. But it doesn't matter the round or the specific whatever.
Nope.
They could all be defensive ends for all you care.
Sure, if that's what they
See,
want to do. But I
that's
don't
what
think
you're
that's what they
saying, and
did.
we're on two different wavelengths. Then we're never going to come around to that. I don't think they can do
Do you
that.
think that's what the Chiefs would do, though? These are the 10 to 15 players that we really want in this draft, and then pick all edge rushers. Do you think they'd really do that?
Well,
I don't think there's 15 edge
According to
rushers
your
they
theory,
want.
you could have 5 out of the 15.
I don't think there's 5 that they absolutely think that's their favorite. I don't think that. I think they picked like maybe 1, 2 that they really want, and that's what's on that list. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's all subjective, and you just busted this up so bad, that we can't even pick 10, 15 players. You made my head hurt.
Well, why don't I get the blame?
Like I explained it.
Look, I sit on here and take shit all day, every day.
I explained it at the beginning, and you argued with me. You're
Your
like, I don't think they do it
explanation
this way.
sucked. It didn't
It's
make
not-
any
that
sense.
wasn't
like
my
we just now
explanation.
got on the same one.
That wasn't my explanation.
We
That
just
was
now hit
Brett
the same
Veach's
wavelength.
That was Brett Veach's explanation.
And I don't even agree with Brett Veach. I tell him he's wrong to his face if that's the way he's doing it. It's wrong. This is why your draft might suck.
All right, man. You tell them NFL guys that they are wrong.
You've got to at least be able to put different people in different rounds. Like you can't just pick
You're
all
not
early
grasping-
guys.
This is where we are at odds, and this is you just explained it perfectly. They're not playing a game to where it's how many of these people can Brett get, and can we do this because they're all.
Why is it not? If that's the top 15 players that you all want, you should be trying to hit everybody on the freaking list.
No.
So they just made a list of it for the fun of it.
No, these are their.
They're
10 to
running a
15
pool.
I don't know. Oh well, it doesn't even matter. I'm done with it. I'm done with
Good.
it. Like this is what I was saying. I explained to you, and then you made it. You twisted it and turned it every which way to make my head hurt.
No, I'm just saying that you would want the players on your board, so you got to spread them out.
The most important thing 100% is the big board. We got our big board all
Yeah.
the way to 215. So
I
this
get
is
it.
what we got. these are these guys right here that are our favorites that we want on this team. But you're not going to take one of those 10 to 15 guys just for Brett Veach to get a hit. That's not what he's trying to say.
It's not about that, though. But if you're picking one of the 15 guys, that means that somebody on your staff likes them and is convinced that that's the best player to
Right,
take
but
in
it
the
has
position.
to be at the right position.
Are you
right?
sure it's just not one? They're just not picking one out of every position.
I'm done.
I'm sorry, that wasn't a logical question.
I'm not sure what they did, but
Okay, then. So to sit here and guess is kind of crazy then, because you're never going to get it right.
All I was trying to do, Mike, was see if you could come up with 10 or 15 people with me that the Chiefs love, and that's the players that they would like to have on the
You've
team.
already put 3 or 4 people on there on that board that I wouldn't even agree with.
Who?
I don't agree that Zach Branch is one of their top 15.
All right.
Top 15 players that they have to have.
No, he's not in the top 15 on their big board. He's not. I promise.
I didn't say he was. You said they were guys that they wanted.
We're not grasping. We're never going to see eye to eye on this. We're not.
I don't think
thinking
you
the same
say.
thing.
I don't think you know what you're saying.
I don't either. We'll see you guys next time. Go Chiefs.
Get wild.